Hey everybody, Mrmathblog here, and this lesson is on perimeter. This is section 13.1 in our textbook. Don't forget all your lessons can be found at mrmathblog.com. So there's our common core strand. Our essential question is, how can we use a formula to find the perimeter of a rectangle? So we're going to be dealing with rectangles here. But before, let's go back to what we learned before about the distributive property. If we have some number times the sum, the addition of two numbers, sum means the addition, then what we can do is multiply this outside number times the first one, and whatever this is, if that's a minus, you put a minus, or if it's a plus, you put a plus. This red plus is this red plus right here. So it goes a times b plus a times c. So that's what this says here, a times b plus a times c. Now we can do that in reverse also, you guys. The distributive property also works in the other direction. Here, this a times b plus a times c is just this right here. So what we can do is pull the a out, and we're going to use this later on in this lesson right here. Pull the a out, and it's going to be a times, it's this times right here, and then it's going to be the b plus the c right there. Okay, so it's just written in reverse right there. Okay, and we're going to use that principle here in just a bit. So John is building a rectangular garden out of wood planks. The length is 7 feet and the width is 5 feet. So how many feet of wood does John need? Okay, well, if this is 5 feet right here and it's a rectangle, can I convince you that this side right up here is also 5 feet? And if this is 7 feet right here, then this is also 7 feet. So what we're going to do is add up all those lengths, and it's called the perimeter. The perimeter is the distance around the shape. So to find out how many feet of wood John needs, we just find the perimeter. So here we're going to go ahead and the perimeter is going to be, just add them up. So it's going to be the length plus the width plus the opposite length plus the opposite width. Okay, so 7 plus 5 plus this 7 over here plus this 5 up here right there. Okay, so there it is right there. So we're going to go ahead and 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plus 7 is 19. 19 plus 5 is 24. Another way to do this, you guys, is pair these 5s up, you guys. 5 and 5 is 10. 7 and 7 is 14. 14 and 10 is 24. Okay, so the answer is 24 feet. That's how much wood John's going to use for that garden right there. So John needs 24 feet of wood. All right, another way is to use multiplication. So find the perimeter. The perimeter is also equal to, since there were two lengths, it's 2 times the length, and since there were two widths, then we added 2 times the width right there. Okay, so here's that rectangle that John was building right here. So here we just go 2 times 7 and 2 times 5 and add them together. I think I did 2 times 5 first. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 7 is 14. 10 plus 14 is 24 feet. Okay, so that's what John needed. The perimeter is 24 feet, 24 feet of wood. Okay, so find the perimeter of this guy right here. Okay, so we're going to go use this formula right here. Formula right here, the perimeter is 2 times the length. So I forgot which length I said. I don't know if I said it was the 8 or the 12, but it's 2 times 8 plus 2 times 12. I don't know if we did the 8 or the 12 first. Look, we did the 12 first. Okay, so 2 times 12, and then we do 2 times 8 and add those products together, you guys. So 2 times 12 is 24, and then plus the 16, and then let's answer the question right here. So it's 40, that adds up to 40, but 40 what? Okay, over here it's in centimeters, so the perimeter is going to be 40 centimeters. Okay, so don't forget though, always answer it in the context of the problem right here. Okay, don't just write 40. The answer is 40 centimeters, okay? All right, so here's a perimeter of a square. This is our formula for a perimeter of a square. One way you can just go 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16, or since they're all equal, we can just do 4 times 16. 4 times one of those sides right there. So 4 times 16 is 64. Okay, let's answer the question. So the perimeter is 64 inches right there, okay? All right, so explain how using addition and using multiplication to find the perimeter rectangle, they were related to each other. Well, let's go back to that first one that we did. When we added the lengths, we added 2 of the lengths, which was the 7 and the 7, and we added 2 of the widths, which was 5 and the 5. That was the same as 2 times 5 plus 2 times 7. So it's the same as 2 times the length plus 2 times the width right there. So that's how they're related when you're dealing with a rectangle right there. So let's use a formula. A formula is a math rule. We can use a formula to find the perimeter. Okay, so P we'll use for our symbol for perimeter, L we'll use for our symbol for length, and W we'll use for our symbol for width. Okay, this would be L, this would be W right here. So P would equal 2 times L plus 2 times W right there. Okay, so let's do that with this one right here. So it's going to be, the perimeter is going to be 2 times L plus 2 times W. Let's go ahead and plug in the measures that we see over there. So I'm going to plug in 18 for the L and 14 for the W. Let's plug that in right there. And then order of operations says let me move that up, sorry. That we're going to go ahead and do what's in the parentheses first, you guys. So let's go ahead and multiply 2 times 18. 2 times 18 is 36. 2 times 14 is 28. So 36 plus 28. Now we can go ahead and add those together and we get 64. Okay, remember we haven't answered the question yet. So the perimeter is what? It's going to be 64 feet in this case right here. Okay, don't just write 64. Always answer it in the context of the problem. In this case, it's in feet right here, 64 feet. In the next lesson, when we talk about area, we're always going to write square things, or square feet, or square inches, or whatever. But when you're talking about perimeter, it just ends in feet or inches or whatever the units are in these. So can we use the distributive property to write a formula for P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W another way? Remember what we did at the beginning of this lesson? See, here's that common 2. It was like that A at the beginning of the lesson. So we're going to pull that 2 out. That's called the distributive property. So we can use the distributive property to write this formula right here as pull the 2 out. So it's 2 times, and then it's going to be L plus W. L plus W. See how it's 2 times W over here? 2 times L over here. So it's 2 times L plus W. That's what this says here. Perimeter is equal to 2 times L plus W. It's the same as 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So those are the same right there. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so let's try this. Write a formula for the perimeter of a square. So let's go ahead and use the letter A for, or I'm sorry, P for perimeter. Okay, and then I was thinking ahead in the next lesson it's area, but we're talking about perimeter. So we'll use P for perimeter because perimeter starts with a P. Okay, and we'll use the letter for, so we're talking about the length of the side of a square. I'm going to use the letter S, you guys, because it's a square, so we'll use S for square. And then so the formula is going to be, remember, the square would be S, 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 and we'd add them all up to get the perimeter, S plus S plus S plus S. So it would just be 4 times S. Oh, I've never heard my phone make that noise before. Interesting. Let's see. So justify the formula we wrote for the perimeter of a square. Okay, well, we can find the perimeter of a square by adding the 4 lengths of the sides. A square has 4 equal sides with equal length. And so adding the side length 4 times is the same as multiplying one of the sides by 4. So the perimeter is always equal to 4 times S. Okay? All right, you guys, I hope that makes sense. And hey, if you can, click like and take care, everybody.